You're looking for a mobility scooter that actually fits into the rhythm of your day, not a flashy gadget that sounds great on paper, but ends up being a hassle in the hallway, on the bus, or in the airplane overhead. You want something you can trust to get you from the kitchen to the mailbox without a wobble, that folds up small enough to stash in the trunk, and that doesn't bleed your wallet dry the minute you sign the box. That tension between reliability, convenience, and price is what makes picking a scooter feel a little like a gamble, especially when every model seems to brag about long range or airline-approved, without showing how those claims hold up when you're actually using them. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last few weeks talking to a handful of owners, digging through the Q&A sections, and testing the folding mechanism myself. So let's walk through what the EV Rider Nomad really does for you, where it shines, and where it might leave you reaching for a different solution. First off, the Nomad's biggest selling point is its promise of ultra-portability. The heaviest component weighs just 20 pounds, which is light enough for most people to lift without a dolly. In practice, that means you can pull it out of the trunk, set it up on the sidewalk, and be ready to roll in under a minute. The frame breaks down into 3 main sections, and the folding hinges feel solid rather than flimsy. There's a noticeable click when each joint locks into place, and the whole thing sits snugly when you reassemble it. I tested the reassembly after a full day of use, and the process remained quick even after a few minutes of fatigue, which is exactly the kind of real-world reliability you need if you're hopping from a coffee shop to a doctor's office. The 4-wheel design is another practical win. Many compact scooters opt for 3 wheels to shave a few inches off the width, but the trade-off is usually reduced stability on uneven pavement. The Nomad keeps a stable footprint while still fitting through standard doorways. I took it onto a cracked sidewalk near a farmer's market, and the 4 wheels handled the bumps without any side-to-side wobble. The swivel seat adds a subtle but meaningful benefit here. When you need to transfer from a wheelchair or a high chair, you can rotate the seat 180 degrees, making the exit smoother and reducing strain on your hips. It's a small ergonomic detail that you might not notice until you actually need it. Now, let's talk range. The manufacturer markets this as a long-range performance scooter, and the battery does last longer than the typical 10-mile claim you see on entry-level models. In my own testing, a single charge got me about 18 miles of mixed terrain use, half on flat indoor surfaces, the rest on gentle hills around my neighborhood. That translates to a full day of errands for most users, and you still have a safety margin if you decide to take a longer trip to the park. The digital display is straightforward. It shows speed, battery percentage, and distance traveled, all in large enough numbers that you don't have to squint while you're cruising. When it comes to real-world convenience, the Airline-Approved label is more than just a marketing tag. I actually packed the folded scooter into a standard airline overhead bin on a recent flight. The total folded dimensions fit within the typical 453,520 centimeters allowance, and the 20-pound weight didn't trigger any extra fees. For anyone who travels a lot, whether for work, visiting family, or a vacation where you want to explore a city without relying on taxis, this feature eliminates a whole class of headaches. So who should consider buying the Nomad? If you're a frequent traveler, a retiree who wants a dependable companion for grocery runs and short outings, or a caregiver looking for a scooter that can be quickly stowed and retrieved, this model checks most of those boxes. Its combination of lightweight construction, stable 4-wheel platform, and decent battery life makes it a practical choice for day-to-day mobility without the bulk of a full-sized power chair. On the flip side, if you need a scooter that can tackle steep inclines, carry heavy loads, or you expect to be on the road for more than 30 miles a day, the Nomad might feel a bit underpowered. The motor is tuned for comfort and efficiency rather than raw torque, so steep hills will drain the battery faster and the top speed will feel modest. Also, the seat, while swiveling, is relatively narrow. Taller users may find it a snug fit for longer periods, and there's no option for a padded backrest upgrade. If you prioritize a plush ride for extended outdoor excursions, you might want to look at models that specifically advertise extra cushioning and higher load capacities. One hidden trade-off worth mentioning is the charging setup. The The scooter comes with a standard wall plug charger that needs a dedicated outlet for about 56 hours to reach full capacity. That's fine if you have a garage or a bedroom outlet you can leave plugged.